Hey, I'm Sterling Atkins, and you're watching Faith Game Day.
Faith Game Day is brought to you by Grapevine Golf Cars. And now, your host, Steve Anthony.
Welcome to Faith Game Day. Tonight's matchup against your Grapevine Faith Lions as they host the Atlas Homeschool Rattlers. We're coming to you live from the STEAM area here on the campus of Grapevine Faith. Now, it was reported in the national media, it's been all over social media as well, that Jack Wharton, there's rumors that Jack Wharton was let go from the show. But I want to make sure that was the fake media. I think CNN had it on there, the fake news. But it is not true. Jack Wharton is on a business trip this weekend. In other words, he's playing golf. And joining me, we brought in the A-team. So this is the Anthony family show tonight. My oldest son, Evan, and my middle son, Brooks, drove up from Waco, and they're going to be on the broadcast with us tonight. But guys, welcome to Grapevine Faith.
Thank you. Great to be here. Obviously, I know Jack wishes he could be here. We're excited to be here. Hope to fill in admirably for him.
Well, you didn't bring your dog, and you don't have papers flying all over the place. So that right there, you've already done a better job than Jack did in week one. We encourage you to stick around. Tonight is youth night here at Grapevine Faith at our game, and it's a whiteout as well. So you'll see the homestands hopefully in mostly white. And a big matchup tonight. Grapevine Faith back home after 2 road games. Guys, I know you guys have been watching film and doing some stats. So, Evan, I'll start with you, man. From what you've seen so far, at least the last 2 games especially, what were your impressions?
Yeah, I think there's just no ignoring the offensive explosion we've seen from the Lions. It's very obvious that Austin Cosby feels great. He's had a beautiful pocket for him most nights, seeing him spread the ball around. And then when you start to spread the ball around like that and you have multiple weapons, it opens up everything. The run game, the short pass game, even the big play long game. Over and over again the past couple weeks, we've seen them connect on those big plays, and we've seen the scoreboard light up because of it.
Brooks, what's your thoughts? I mean, again, defensively, against Cistercian, held them to 7 points. They faced a really good St. Michael's team last week in Austin. Gave up 44, but again, they scored 77, which was more than enough. But what were some of your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as Evan mentioned, getting the ball around, to multiple different players. I think you have lots of guys that can make plays with the ball when Cosby spreads the offense around and doesn't just keep it one-sided. I think the biggest thing, coming into this week is our defense going to put pressure on the quarterback? With the Rattlers being a little bit more run-heavy, still need to put pressure on the quarterback, make them depend on the run. And that's something we haven't necessarily seen as much. We've seen a lot of good pass defense, but maybe not rush defense. So that's something to keep an eye on tonight.
So one of the things I talked with Coach Fuller and the Coach Mike Fuller show this week was defensively, they forced St. Michael's into a one-dimensional game. I mean, they limited them to, I think it was 72 yards rushing, and 58 of those was Nico Anderson, their quarterback. So they really were forced to throw the ball, and he's a really good passer. So again, tip your cap to St. Michael's. They've got a good offense. But man, to your point, Evan, Austin Cosby, not only multiple weapons, but he's seeing the field so well.
Here's what I'll say about the Faith defense. They allowed 42 points. They were on the field the whole game. The offense would get the ball back. They scored 11 touchdowns. The defense is exhausted. I don't think we can look at the defensive performance last week and say anything other than they played a great game, held a good team when they were out on the field for a lot of that game.
There's no question. Well, offensively, the Lions have scored 132 points in the last 2 games combined. We mentioned 77 points last Friday against a good St. Michael's team. Noah Smith averaging 136 yards receiving. Mateo Sharippa averaging 136 yards rushing. Corbin Irwin leads the team with 9 tackles per game, followed by Jackson Awalt with 8.5 and Luca Lavera with 6. And again, you talked about Austin Cosby spreading the ball around. He's had multiple weapons, and we talked a couple weeks ago with Coach Fuller about a balanced offense. And it's less about equal number of passing to running plays as it is to, are you able to attack different points of the field? Are you able to, short, in the flat area, across the middle, deep? And they've shown they have a balanced offense, and they can do that.
Absolutely. I think this is the benefit of having experience. You got some older guys that have been in the program for a while. They've been playing together for a while. They know where each other is going to be on the field, and I think we're getting to see that pay off the past couple weeks, and I'm sure we'll see it more again tonight.
Well, let's jump into tonight's matchups. You've got an 0-5 Atlas team coming in. They've lost some close games. Week 1, 13-12 in overtime against Cincinnati. 40-34 in week 2 against Covenant Christian. They took it on the chin against Oak Ridge and Dallas Christian, but last week it was 36-27 and lost to Trinity Fellowship. Brooks, going into tonight, what do you think we'll see from Atlas, and what are some of your thoughts going into tonight's matchup?
Yeah, I mean, I think the game plan for Atlas is going to be Alex Davis, Alex Davis, Alex Davis. I mean, every ball goes to him. Last year against the Rattlers, Alex Davis, he left in the second quarter with an injury, had 5 carries for 117 rushing yards. So I think we're going to see the same attack tonight. I mean, one big thing as well is on the defensive side, the Rattlers get to the quarterback and they get to him quick. They forced, I believe, it was 5 sacks. They had 8 passes defended on the line last week. So I think that Faith's work's going to be cut out for him tonight. But again, if Cosby continues to be Cosby and he continues to get to the offense and our defense continues to put in some grit, I think we'll be just fine.
We had a chance to sit down with Austin Cosby this week, and we'll get to that interview here in just a few minutes. But, yeah, again, I think you've got I wouldn't say that Rattlers are desperate, but they're 0-5 and they're hungry for a win. This is one of those games I talked to Mike Fuller. This is one of those games that you can't sleep on it. If you're not careful, coming off a big win on the road, 2 wins in a row, you scored 77 points. A team coming in, if you try to overlook them, you're probably setting yourself up for some heartache.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Brooks said, if you've ever seen the movie Kicking and Screaming, the offense is get the ball to the Italians. The Rattlers have a get the ball to the Italians offense. You're going to see a lot of Alex Davis. You're going to see a lot of Timmy Tames. They're going to touch the ball just about every play. It's going to be about bottling those guys up and then making things happen when you have the ball to put the game out of reach by scoring points.
We talked to Coach Fuller this week on the Mike Fuller Show. And one thing we talked about was just, again, the different weapons he's got, but the different formations. And they ran, he said, I think 5 or 6 plays in a row, they ran the same formation, but they ran different looks out of that because they've got so many different weapons, so many different looks of it. So this is an offense this year that has really, again, spread the ball around, and Austin's seeing the field so well, but it's really keeping the defense off balance.
I think one of the biggest things this week, too, is going to be the turnover game. Faith has not allowed a single turnover on offense. We forced some turnovers on defense. The Rattlers, however, are evenly spread. 7 defensive, turnovers forced, 5 offensive turnovers given over. So I think that's also going to be a big part is we can hold on to the ball, attack the turnovers when they happen, and keep them from happening on our own side. As Evan said, they were on the field all game last game. And so if we can continue that up with that pace without giving the ball over, it's going to be a lock.
Well, again, it's youth night here at Grapevine Ford Field. Invite you to come out. There's lots of kids out. The Chick-fil-A cow is here, and there's some Chick-fil-A. There's some games. They're setting up cotton candy. We've got food trucks. A lot going on here tonight. So coming out to Grapevine Ford Field. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Again, as your Lions host the Rattlers. In just a second, we're going to bring on our sponsor spotlight. We're thankful for Grapevine Golf Cars for sponsoring our pregame show. Our game sponsor this week is Jeffrey Automotive. We're going to talk to Andy Jeffrey here momentarily and have a chance to visit with him. But again, tonight, 7 o'clock kick as your Lions host the Rattlers. Guys, any other thoughts offensively for the Lions? Anything they need to me, I think it's just the same recipe, wash, rinse, repeat, what you've done the last few weeks. I don't see that you change a whole lot up unless the Rattlers throw something different at you that you're not ready for.
Well, so when I think about this game on offense, I think it's going to be about the X's and O's. It's going to be getting your guys in the right spot, as you were saying, Dad, getting the ball spread around, looking at what the defense is giving you and reacting. Defense is going to be about the Jimmies and Joes. We've seen a lot of man coverage, a lot of man blitzes. It's clear that Coach Fuller trusts his defense. I think we're going to see more of that tonight.
And I think if Jackson DeWalt and Charlie Donovan can continue to be the aggressive players they are on defense, forcing turnovers, forcing scrambles, making sure that the offense is on their toes. Again, I think Cosby's got his work cut out for him, but with Walt and Charlie out on the defense, I think we're going to be just fine.
Well, we talked last week, or this week again, the importance of those turnovers. The Lions didn't have any turnovers for last week. They got 2 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. And that first interception by Charlie Donovan, right after the Lions forced them 4 and out, forced them to punt. On the ensuing punt, hit one of the players that took over first and goal from the 9. And on the next play, Charlie Donovan intercepts Nico Anderson, and they take it 80 yards, on the ensuing drive to score. So super impressive by the defense. I want to bring on our sponsor, Andy Jeffrey from Jeffrey Automotive. Andy, sorry, Evan and I apparently didn't get the memo on the shirt
I know,
that you
right?
and Brooks
Looks
have
good.
together.
Couple good-looking guys right here,
But yeah, Andy, man, we're super thankful for y'all's support of Grapevine Faith. But tell us about the Jeffrey family first.
Oh yeah, man, we're super excited to be supporting Grapevine Athletics, Grapevine Faith Athletics. So I've got 4 kiddos here. My oldest is a freshman. She's playing volleyball right now over at the gym. June, and then I've got a 7th grader, a 4th grader, and a 1st grader. I'm getting quicker every time. But yeah.
With 5 boys, I know what it's like to try to keep up with who's who, so I get you. Man, how long have y'all been at Faith? How long have you had the kids
I
here?
think this is our 4th year.
Okay. So a lot of options for private Christian schools, especially in the Metroplex. What really stuck out to you guys about Grapevine Faith?
Oh man, we've just been the mission of Grapevine Faith, growing Christian leaders. We've loved the community. They've just welcomed us since day one here. We've got just every one of our kids. There's always a moment in the year where we're like, that's why we're here, you know. And
yeah.
it is every single one of them we've seen grow in their relationship with the Lord. And Grapevine Faith has just been just a fantastic partner with Jessica and I as we're raising our kiddos.
That's awesome. Well, we feel the same way. This is our 8th year here. Got a senior and a junior, and we feel the same way. It's just that community and doing life with others that are like-minded and like-hearted, and that chase after God this is where we want to be. Now, Andy's going to join us at halftime, at the end of halftime, maybe for a little of the third quarter on our broadcast. So we'll get into this a little bit deeper. I got some questions for you about running an automotive business, but just for the time sake here, tell us a little bit about Jeffrey Automotive. I know it's a family-owned business. I think your dad started it, right? So I saw y'all's website, and there's pictures from way back in the day. So tell us about Jeffrey Automotive.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a part of my life since the beginning. My dad started Jeffrey's Automotive in 1979, same location, and it's just grown from that day on. It's a family business. I've got a brother-in-law that works there as well. My dad is still involved a little bit, but we're all showing up every day trying to help people get their cars fixed and back on the road. We do automotive repair, so just general automotive repair, but we also do collision repair as well. So we've actually done some work just with even in the Faith parking lot, even in the high school parking lot over there, maybe fix some of y'all's fender benders. Yeah. But it's been great. Really enjoy working with my family, and it's a lot of fun going to work every day.
Well, like I said, we're going to get into some more deeper questions I have about the competitive piece, because it's a super competitive business. So we'll talk about that. But I guess the thing I would plug is say, Andy's got 4 kids here at Grapevine Faith. He's got to pay tuition. So, man, you guys visit Jeffrey's Automotive. Remind us where it is, Andy.
So we're in Watauga on 377, about a mile north of Loop 820, just right off the 377 highway right there.
So accessible from anywhere in the Metroplex, and it's worth the drive. So we encourage you to make the drive to Jeffrey Automotive. Andy, again, man, appreciate the time. Thanks for y'all sponsorship. We've got more to get into. We'll be talking more about the automotive business and so forth. Let you give a few more plugs, but really appreciate Andy coming out tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
So I mentioned earlier we had a chance to sit down with the starting quarterback for Grapevine Faith, Austin Cosby, and let's go to that interview right now.
Hayden Barnett, and this is Austin Cosby, and I'm interviewing you today. Y'all have done really well on the road so far. What does it do for y'all to play in front of your home ground?
I cannot wait to play in front of that student section and the overall environment. It's something unreal. Whenever you score and hearing the crowd go wild and all the fans cheering, cheerleaders yelling, the cowbells ringing in your ear, and the band.
I like that. What is your favorite jersey that y'all have worn?
That we've worn, I really like the red jerseys with navy helmets and gray pants. And then one thing that I cannot wait to wear are the baby blue jerseys with white helmets and white pants. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Who on your team in practice really shows out?
Luke Kelly is definitely giving us good looks. Defensively, we run the other team's defense whenever we run our offense. And he's always out there giving full effort and giving us good looks for Friday nights.
You guys have scored on 19 straight possessions. What kind of mentality does it take to keep that going?
You just got to have the great will and desire to score every single drive. I think the stat line is 137 points that we've scored in the past 2 games, but none of that really matters in this next game, and that's what we're focusing on. But you just got to have great will and desire to come out there and just pound them and throw.
Who do you model your game after?
I would say Drew Brees. He's arguably the GOAT, and he's relying on his great accuracy, deep ball, medium ball, short ball, whatever it is. He's best to play.
Are there any coaches who have really helped you take your game to the next level?
Yeah, I would say Coach Estrada was here last year. He wasn't one of our coaches on the sidelines, or he was one of our coaches on the sidelines, but I think he was volunteering. So I knew him because like midway through the season he came and he was almost, to me, was my number one supporter on the sidelines. He would help me with mental struggles that I went through, or just knowing the game and reading the defense. And so now that he's on the coaching staff this year, I'm beyond blessed to have such a great coaching staff in general, but with him here every day, he's just encouraging me, lifting me up. And like today during practice, he came over to me and told me how proud he was of my performance and stuff like that. Just, there's no better feeling. It's why I keep playing football. I love him and thankful that he's here today.
Who are you taking to homecoming? Tell us about your ask.
I'm taking Kennedy Ledgeworth, and my ask is I am doing a piñata theme, so I have 2 piñatas filled with candy, and my sign says, "Do you want to hit it up at Hoko?" I should be asking this Friday Night Lights game after the game, and we'll see how that goes, but I can't wait for homecoming. Can't wait for the homecoming game. It's going to be fun, and I'm glad I get to cherish the opportunity with the game.
Awesome. Thanks again for sitting down with me. Back to you guys.
That was Grapevine Faith quarterback Austin Cosby. Again, Austin having just an amazing year, and we're excited to see what he does tonight. Again, over 400 yards passing last week against St. Michael's, 5 passing touchdowns, 10 touchdowns on the season. So Austin's having a great season, and we're excited about tonight. So one of my favorite parts of the pregame show, we get to pick some football games, and we've kept it a mystery all week, kept it under wraps, but the mystery is no more. Our guest picker, the one and only, President of Grapevine Faith, Dr. Ed Smith.
Thank you, Steve.
Mr. President, we're glad you're here.
I think I'm glad to be here.
Well, more on that later, right? You're going to let me know if I still have a job or not. And the pay's pretty good, so you're not paying me a thing. Security detail, we had quite the entourage as the president walked in, but they've cleared out. So we're excited about tonight. Again, the guest picker every week's the home game is a lot of fun. Dr. Smith begrudgingly, I should say excitingly, agreed to do this, so we're excited to do this. So we pick one major college game, one random D2 or D3 game. We'll pick the Cowboys game, and then we'll have, I think I've got 4 high school games first to pick. So we're going to start off. Before I get to that, our record, we've only had one game day show, but our record so far, Jack went 2-3 in week 1. I went 3-2, and our guest picker, Peter Ashton, went 4-1. So the guest pickers have really raised the bar for Jack and I, so we're going to have to, and now for Evan and Brooks, so we're going to have to step our game up. But first game we're going to pick, number 6 Oregon at number 3 Penn State from Beaver Stadium in University Park, Pennsylvania. Ev, who do you like in that?
I think it's going to be a whiteout at Penn State, just like it is tonight. My wife is from Pennsylvania. I got to take the Nittany Lions. Give me Penn State.
Yep, that's a smart pick.
Man, their uniforms may be ugly, but my goodness, those Oregon Ducks look good. I'm taking Oregon over Penn State.
Just on uniforms alone. Well, man, 6 Oregon is always, they've got a high-powered offense, but you're on the road at Penn State. And to Evan's point, my daughter-in-law's from Pennsylvania. Give me the Nittany Lions. Dr. Smith.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research because I'm not that up to speed on it all, but I like Oregon's 500 yards. Is that what I'm seeing a game? It's kind of split down the middle between passing and running, which is kind of crazy. But the Nittany Lions, home field advantage, it kind of goes against the odds. My wife is the raving fan in our family of all things football. She says I'm wrong, but I'm going with Penn State as well.
Penn State.
That's why they gave him the doctors. They call him a doctor right there.
That's right. You don't get that doctorate, but it's by showing up at a pregame show like this for nothing. Both of those teams are undefeated, so that's going to be a big shootout. All right. You may have never heard of Oregon or Penn State, but I know you've heard of these next 2 universities that we're picking. Bluefield State, Big Blue, on the road at Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls from Irwin Belt Complex in Charlotte, North Carolina. Eb, what do you got?
Listen, it's right there in the book of Exodus. The Golden Bulls, it's a bad idea. I'm not going to do it. Give me the big blue.
Brooks, who do you got?
Yeah, not much else said there. You know, the biblical studies major, I know what happens whenever you side with the Golden Bull. Give that 2 for Big Blue.
All right, we got the big blue picks there. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit against the grain here because they're at home. It's in North Carolina, which you got to love. There's got to be some magic, some mojo going there. So give me Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls. The good doctor.
Yeah. So I had to do a little research here. I hate to admit it. I'm from North Carolina, and I hate to admit it, but I'm not overly familiar with either one of these two schools. But I saw that JCS is coming off a 10-point loss with another rivalry up in Virginia Union. They gave up 28 points last week. I think that's going to be a little bit for them to overcome. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, all things compatible with who they are, but I'm going to go with the Golden Bulls at home field advantage. I think they're going to win by 14.
Okay.
Wow. You heard it here first,
right.
ladies and gentlemen. Big pick. All right. The return of Micah Parsons to the Death Star. Sunday night, Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys, again from Jerry World. I'm pretty sure I know where everybody's going on this, but we got to ask. So, Evan, who do you like?
Well, yeah, it's pretty clear. CeeDee Lamb is hurt. Cowboys look terrible. You would have to be a fool to take the Cowboys. I've been called a lot worse. Give me the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow. Cowboys in the upset. All right, Brooks.
I got 4 words for you, Steve. We not dim boys.
All right, that's a Packers pick. Yeah, whether it's against the spread or straight up, I don't know how in the world you could ever pick the Dallas Cowboys in this game, or pretty much any other game for that matter. They're hurt, like you said, CeeDee Lamb, but I'm actually going to go with the odds and say, give me the Packers.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve, you don't know this about me, but growing up in eastern North Carolina, it was all things basketball. Like football on Sundays was just something to pass the time until the next Saturday, right?
That's right.
But here's the deal. I remember playing as an elementary kid as Roger Staubach and Golden Richards, if that tells you how old I am, right?
I remember.
Cowboys fan all the way back to elementary school, no idea that I would ever end up in the state of Texas. We've been loyal. My wife is a raving fan. But I'm going to tell you, the tipping point is Parsons. I think he's going to bring a great deal of attitude. I think he's, in a loving manner, going to go after Dak Prescott with all kinds of vengeance, and he's going to look toward Jerry Jones' press box every time he gets a sack, and he's going to do a finger up to heaven. I hate this. Don't judge me, but I'm going with the Packers by 2 touchdowns.
Oh,
wow.
Hey,
Hey,
blowout.
look, I think you're underrating that. I think it's going to be possibly 3. And yeah, again, you don't get a doctorate by not being the smartest guy in the room. And I agree with Dr. Smith. All right, so let's go to high school. So a crosstown rivalry from Richardson, Texas. My beloved wife's Berkner Rams hosting the Richardson Eagles. Crosstown rivalry here. Ev, who do you like?
This is tough. It's a hard-fought rivalry, 2 big schools in the Dallas area. Give me the Berkner Rams tonight over the Richardson Eagles.
I was going to say, if you ever want a hot meal at our house ever again, cooked by Robin, you're going to pick the Rams. So that's a smart pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I didn't do too much research on Richardson and Berkner, but there's one school that sounds a lot closer to Berkeley, as in California, and we're going to go with the Berkner Rams.
Berkner Rams. Well, again, I've already stated my show here that I got to go with the Berkner Rams. For nothing else, for my wife Robin, give me the Rams.
I had no idea that Robin was involved in all this, or I would have taken an even deeper dive into it this afternoon. But my little bit of scrub with some AI, I'm not going to lie, and a little bit of social media in trying to get my mind wrapped around these 2 teams, I think the Rams have the advantage. I'm going with the Rams by a touchdown.
There we go. All right, 4 for 4 on that. Okay, Midland Christian Mustangs at the Friendship Tigers, a non-district matchup. Last year, Midland Christian lost 36-34 at home. Friendship went 5-0 in district and lost to Southlake in the playoffs 49-42. So Friendship's pretty strong, but man, the Mustangs played them to within 1 point at home, 35-34. Ev, who do you like there?
Yeah, this is going to be controversial. I myself was not a Faith line. I was a public school kid. I'm going to take the public school tonight. Give me the Friendship Tigers.
You can go with that. Brooks?
I mean, there's not much stronger than the power of friendship, and I think that's it speaks for itself. So I think the Tigers, I'm going to say the Tigers are going to win by at least 2 touchdowns, if not more. I think they're going to roll it over.
Hey, you don't go deep in the playoffs and lose to Southlake by 1 touchdown if you're not a good team. And again, these guys, these teams, for whatever reason, they're able to repeat themselves year after year. I guess a lot of returning players, but yeah, at home, again, winning on the road last year, give me the Friendship Tigers.
All right, so again, with a little bit of research here, the Mustangs are 3-1. They're rolling into it with a little bit of an attitude. Had a great comeback, from what I understand, last week against a team called Cornerstone. But when you look at all the stats across the board, Friendship is a little bit too much, I think, for the Mustangs, and so I'm going to go with the Tigers by 2 touchdowns.
Hey, here's the thing. When you got Dr. Smith as your guest picker, not only you get the pick, but he's going to give you the spread and what he thinks the spread's going to be. You don't get that with anybody else, so I'm just saying. All right, St. Joseph over in Fort Worth at our friends, FWC, the Cardinals hosting St. Joseph. Ev, who do you like?
Yeah, Fort Worth Christian, they look very strong out of the gate. A lot of people are coming around on the Cardinals. Well, I'm not. Give me St. Joseph's tonight.
I forgot to mention, both teams are 4-0, so undefeated, looking for their first win. Last year, FWC beat St. Joseph's on the road 41-7. But again, St. Joseph bringing a new team this year. Brooks, who do you like there?
Yeah, I mean, I think historically it's never smart to bet against a canonized saint, and I think St. Joseph, it speaks for itself, Steve. I'm going to say St. Joseph's by at least 10 points, if not more, with the momentum they got coming in tonight.
I like it. Well, all due respect to any friends that I have that happen to go to FWC, and I can't think of one to save my life, but if they were playing our 6th grade team, I'm still going to take the Lions. So give me St. Joseph's.
Oh, I thought we were supposed to be taking emotion out of this thing.
Supposed to.
That's what makes it so hard. I think their new head of school over there that came in last year, Terry Rogers, I think he's doing a great job. He's from Prestonwood, was with them for a great while. He's done a great job hiring some new staff. Shout out to my brother and colleague, Terry Rogers. I just look at both teams, I think, are coming into this game undefeated. There's a lot on the line. There's a lot of pride on the line. Fort Worth Christian wants to come here this year with an undefeated record. Make no mistake about it. So as much as I would love for them to be down by 1 or 2, I just think there's a little bit of depth and grit there. There's a side of me that wants it to be St. Joe's, but if the money's on the table,
and it's
I'm
not
going against what I want versus
for the record, it's
the
not.
reality of things. I think it's going to be. I hope the coach is not listening tonight here. I actually think Fort Worth Christian is going to win the game.
Yep.
I think that's what's going to happen versus what I really want deep down inside.
I think that's probably the smart pick, and like you said, we let emotion get into it. But, yeah, we'll see what happens there. All right, last pick tonight. Grapevine Faith Lions at home, Grapevine Ford Field, hosting the Atlas Homeschool Rattlers. Ev, who do you like, man?
Yeah, I think it's ultimately going to come down to if Grapevine Faith does what they need to do, they protect the ball. We talked about X's and O's and Jimmy's and Joe's. I really think there's no reason why if they put a full game together tonight, they'll come out with the win. I'm taking the Faith Lions.
Brooksy?
Let me list off some stats. 132 points, 390 passing yards per game, 247 rushing yards per game. You have the swaggiest quarterback in the league. You have the greatest defense going on right now. I mean, you'd be stupid to not bet for your Faith Lions. So I'm taking Grapevine Faith by 700 tonight.
Ah, wow. Well, I'm following you, man. There's a million stats to support this. There's also some really sweet powder blue jerseys being debuted tonight. If for no other reason, I think you would pick the Lions for that. But again, with the quarterback you have, with the weapons that you have, the way he's seeing the field and spreading the ball around, there's absolutely no doubt the Lions win this. I'm not going to predict the final score, but give me the Lions.
All right, Steve, this is not in my notes, but you're the one who said powder blue. I've done a little bit of research. There's no such thing as powder blue. If you search the universe and all the natural elements that God created, powder and blue do not go together. So you remember where I'm from. It's either Carolina blue or Duke blue.
That's right.
And the pretty baby blue, Carolina blue uniforms are going to look sharp tonight. There's no doubt about it. Okay? But let's get back to football, not fashion, just for a moment. Okay? Cosby's on fire. 77 points. If you saw the stat, the post that we put up last week, it's the school record. We've never in the history of Faith Christian Schools scored 77 points. Yeah, we gave up a few more touchdowns than we'd like, but I believe he's on fire. I think the offense is pumped up. It's home field advantage. We got a little bit of kiss from God this morning on what the fall season's going to feel like. I'm telling you, here's the deal.
It's the Lions. So, quick disclaimer, we said we were going to do some of the things the Game Day show does. We weren't going to steal the Lee Corso bit, but we did it for 1 week for only one person. Only the great Dr. Ed Smith could pull this off.
That's right.
He's got the Lions. We've got the Lions. Kickoff coming at 7 o'clock tonight from Grapevine Ford Field. If you're watching our pregame show live, turn your TV off. Come on out. Join us live. Plenty of seats tonight. It's a whiteout here at Grapevine Ford Field. Dr. Smith, appreciate you so much. Brooks and Evan will be on the broadcast with you tonight at 7 o'clock. Coming up next, our thanks to Grapevine Golf Cars and to Jeffrey's Automotive. This has been the Grapevine Faith Game Day Pre-game show here from Grapevine Ford Field. Game's coming up next.